Hello and welcome to ALC at Home. Happy New Year. It is the 1st of January 2023. It is so good to be here with you on this first day of the year. I hope you have been enjoying your break, your summer, or if you're somewhere else in the world, I hope you've been enjoying your time off as well as we step into this new year together and finish off the Christmas season. I hope you've had some amazing time with your family and friends coming together. That's what I love about this time of the year. It's all about coming together, celebrating, being there with our family. But hey, we are heading into our summer series here at ALC. For those of you who join us in person, we have been doing this for the past couple of years where we meet online instead of in person over the next 3 Sundays. We have different people that are going to bring the word to you. We are starting off today with Joshua Nico. It is always so good to see and hear what God has put on his heart. Followed by that, we will have Lewis preaching for us the Sunday after that. And then on the 3rd Sunday, we will have Pastor Hamish come and wrap up the summer series. So just a reminder that we won't be meeting in person. We are meeting online over the next 3 Sundays. It's going to be so good to hear God speak through these 3 people. I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do. But just because we're meeting online doesn't mean that we're going to go MIA on you or quiet. We still want to be there for you. We still want to be present because you're still our family no matter what time of the year it is. So feel free to email info@alc.org.nz if you want to get in touch with someone from the team. If you want to be in contact with them, someone will contact you back as soon as they see your email. So that's info@alc.org.nz. Do not hesitate to reach out if you need to. We are here for you. But that's it from me. We are going to head into our summer series. So please sit back, enjoy, take notes because I know it's going to be a good one. I know the first 2 weeks are going to be about rest, and then Pastor Amish is going to wrap it up by talking about dreams. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll see you back soon at ALC.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying your holiday. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about rest. At the time of recording, I've actually just had my first day. This is actually my second day outside, out of my house because I've just had COVID, and I think rest was actually a perfect thing to talk about. I'm going to be completely honest. My rest has not been good. I had body aches and all that kind of COVID stuff. So I wasn't engaged. I wasn't active. So I really wanted to go into rest. I really wanted to see what it meant and how we as Christians should react to it. So always when I'm kind of studying for something, I kind of look at the etymology of the word. So the etymology is pretty much just the origin or where it's from. So first I look at the English word of rest, and most English words come from Latin. But rest comes from the Latin word resto, which means to stay back, stay behind something, to fall under something, or to stand before it. And then I also like to look at the New Testament understanding of what rest is, the etymology again. And I looked up a few passages and it all falls under the same word or 2 words, which is the Greek word called anaposis or anapoo. This word kind of means refreshment, or it can mean removing oneself from labor or removing oneself from a situation, or taking ease, taking back, looking back at something and putting it into something else. Ultimately, resting is taking yourself out of something, normally labor, normally the situation, and putting yourself into something else. I think the best way of understanding rest is the Sabbath. And the Sabbath is defined as a day to set aside for rest and worship. And I think the interesting thing about Sabbath is rest and worship are occurring at the same time. They're not separate. They're the same thing. So when we are resting, we are worshiping. And when we are worshiping, we are resting in Him. I think the first passage I look to is Mark 2:23-28. And I'll just go through it with you now. One Sabbath, Jesus was going through the grain fields, and his disciples walked along. They began to pick some head of grains. The Pharisees said to him, "Look, why are they doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" He answered, "Have you not read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? In the days of Abiathar, the high priest, he entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for the priests to eat. He also gave some to his companions, and I think this is the most important part. Then he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. I think from this passage, which is one of my favourite passages, I think we learn three things. Rest is for us, and not the other way around. The rest was made for us, we were not made for the rest. Number two, Jesus is in control of our rest. Son of Man, he is calling himself the Son of Man in this passage, is Lord of the Sabbath. So Jesus is in control of the rest. And thirdly, our rest, if it isn't controlled in him, should be centered around him. Finally, I have three passages that I find really important when I'm trying to understand what rest is and what the purpose of rest is. I think the first one I look to is Matthew 11:28. If you are tired from carrying heavy burdens, come to me and I will give you rest. If you're tired from whatever situation it is, it could be work, could be home, I don't know what's going on in your life, it could be just life. When you are tired from carrying those heavy burdens, when you can't do it anymore, when there's nothing else left to do, come to him. This is Jesus speaking in the passage. Come to me and I will give you rest. Jesus is in control of our rest. Jesus is in control of our rest. I think the second one for me, Philippians 4:6-7 says, do not worry about anything, but pray about everything. With thankful hearts, offer up your prayers and requests to God. Then because you belong to Christ Jesus, God will bless you with peace that no one can completely understand, and this peace will control the way you think and feel. I think rest is commonly believed and wrongly believed is that rest is something that where you just do nothing, where that's not the case at all. Rest is actually, in a way, very active. It is walking with God, it is praying with God, it is reading the scriptures, it is just being silent with him. But I think the important part is it is with him. It is not separate. So, I know a lot of you guys are having your holidays. It's probably fun. It's exciting. You're having a good time. But don't forget that just because you're away from church, and you are here listening today, so that's good. You're here. You'll listen to me speak. But just because you're not at church doesn't mean you need to remove yourself from Christ. I think that's important. And lastly, for me, is Psalms 46:10. So this passage, I normally have a necklace, but it broke a couple weeks ago, or actually a couple months ago. But I was wearing it for quite a long time, and I realized there was some writing on the back, and it actually had this passage for Psalm 46:10, which says, "Be still, and know that I am God." Be still. Being still, as I was saying before, the etymology of rest in the English language is to stay back, stay behind, falling under something. And the New Testament idea of rest is a refreshment, removing oneself and taking ease, taking a step back. I think this passage encapsulates what we should do. We need to be still sometimes. We need to not look at what's happening or your troubles or your worries. And I understand that it's hard to kind of understand and realize. But we've got to be still in him. We've got to understand that he has purpose for us. And through our rest, which is worship in itself, we need to be still and know that God is with us. So yeah, I think the three things, as I said, rest for us and not the other way around. Jesus is in control of our rest, and our rest should be centered around him. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you back at church soon. Peace.